everybody. Welcome back to Real Talks Podcast. I have a great guest today, and I want to share her information because I believe that she has a lot of knowledge that she can share with you guys. I believe she's been an entrepreneur for, I think, over 20 years. But Cherrise Curtis, how you doing, ma'am?
Yes, sir. How are you doing? I'm so good. And thank you for, allowing me to share my expertise here.
Awesome. Well, you and I met at the 10X GrowthCon event, which is I believe what they're saying is going to be the second to the last one. But Grant always surprises people, even his own staff and business partners like myself. But
Mhm.
for you, could you introduce yourself and your current business? And basically, I want to dive into your expertise and basically your journey as an entrepreneur.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, my name is Cherrise Curtis, as everybody knows. And, I've been an entrepreneur for over 20 years. I
Wow.
started when I was 19. And so my business is basically, I have seven different businesses that are not
Wow.
intercorrelated. So my first original business, parent company of my business is import and export, and
Hmm.
I am a U.S. ASEAN strategic partnerships for global economic,
Wow.
and so
Okay.
that's basically my expertise is cross border. So
Hmm.
we help entrepreneurs expand globally.
Wow. Do you like
Yes.
that seems like a big deal. And but could you tell me a little bit more on what that business entails as far as, let's say, for me, for example, I'm a business advisor, partnered with Grant, Uncle
Mhm.
G. If I was to go, if I wanted to go global instead of just focusing on the market here in the United States, like
Mhm.
how would you be able to help me and my brand?
So, because I specialize in agile scale agile frameworks, so basically
Hmm.
we call it SAFE. So we look further into what your business model is, and then we go to each country and see what are the portfolios that we can give you to expand your, service. So basically, agile SAFE is different from most strategies, because as far as I am concerned, business strategies is, we look forward into the 10-year and 20 years growth. So if I were to help you expand your business, we go to the each country and look at the better ways for you. What services can you provide this country? Or what products can you produce into these services in these
Wow.
countries?
Okay.
Mhm.
Understood. And is your business small? Are you part of like a bigger corporation, or how does that work?
Yeah, so basically, so agility scalability is sort of like, we are a scalable business. So basically, we are
Mhm.
a corporation, but we deal with most specifically small businesses that
I
are
see.
scalable. So, but
Got.
I am technically is corporation.
I see. Okay, but as far as like the type of clients that you ideally work with, other like small business, does it have to be in like in a product based business, or
No,
could it be in
so
service
we serve.
based?
Yeah, we serve all industries. We serve product and services, but we have a different method on how to do it, because
Mhm.
not every business are scalable, and
Right.
not every service are expandable.
Got.
So
Yeah.
we technically have a pre-qualification on how we do the process.
I see. Awesome,
Mm-hmm.
awesome. Well, you have a lot of entrepreneurship years of experience, so
Mm-hmm.
you definitely have a lot of great information to share with us. I wrote down a couple of questions that I kind of wanted to, not a couple, but a few that I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to kind of dive into. And
Yeah.
just looking at your portfolio and everything else, Cherise, uh, it shows that you're a business strategist. So what I want to ask is, I'm a part of my business advisor role.
Mm-hmm.
is being a business coach. So the difference
Mm-hmm.
between a business advisor and a business coach are, when it comes to 10x, is basically their revenue. So for example,
Yes.
as a business advisor, partnered, with Cardin Ventures, my ideal avatar or clients are
Mm-hmm.
businesses, small businesses that are making, 1 million to $10 million in revenue. Whereas whenever I put on my hat as a business coach, it's going to be for entrepreneurs making 1 million or less, which the focus would be sales, marketing, and your mindset. And my goal with those particular clients is to help them with sales and marketing, obviously with their mindset as well, and then help them get into the 7 figure mark. But for you, my question is, what is the difference between a business strategist and a business coach? Oh, I think we may have lost her. Let's see if we can get her back. But yeah, I'm just reading over some of Cherise's background in regards to her entrepreneurship journey. It seems like she's got plethora of experience. Looking at her portfolio until, like, while we wait to get her back onto the podcast. It says that, yeah, she's a seasoned entrepreneur with 20 years of diverse experience, and she definitely deals with cross-border strategic business development. So I don't know a lot about what she does. That's why I'm excited to have her on the podcast and just kind of share more about, that particular niche and why she chose that niche. So um, that would be pretty cool. And some of the things that she's very well versed in is obviously, as you know, entrepreneurship and uh, business strategic development and health and wellness, things like that. But Cherise, we lost you for a minute. No worries.
I
Um,
know.
you dropped. No worries. No worries. That's what happens when you go live and everything and recording. But yeah, I was saying. The question that I wanted to ask you is, what's the difference between a business strategist to a business coach?
Yeah, so basically, the difference between them, they actually tackle both roles while intersecting the fostering the business successes. But a
Yeah.
business strategist, we utilize scalable agility
Uh huh.
frameworks. So we
Gotcha.
focus on dynamic, adaptable structures and process with organizations to foster the rapid response to the market changes. So that means that if anything happens that unpredictable within the market sector, we process them immediately. So the difference with those is we can act accordingly to the market changes. We emphasizes the iterative sustainable growth and development with cross-functional enhances of the scalability of the service or the products.
I see. Okay, very, very cool. That's amazing to know. Is it
Mhm.
like a business strategist? Is that very, like, more similar to a business consultant, or it's also
No,
different?
we are also a different. So basically,
Yeah.
with the business consulting, they will tell you exactly what you need to do. They will
Hmm.
advise you. As a business strategist, though, we go in full blown on the business model plan, financial planning, product and development,
Yeah.
service development, and we look into further how we can expand and grow those business within the 10-year period.
Gotcha. Okay. And how long have you been
Mhm.
doing this particular business?
18 years.
Wow, that's a
Yes.
very long time.
Hmm.
Just doing this on your own. So how does that work? Do you have a team that works with you that you employed, or
Yes.
is it more like a um, self type of employment?
No, we have our one of our firm is in Singapore and one of our
Mm.
firm is in Dubai. So I have 20 employees in Singapore and 10 in Dubai, and then
Yeah,
5 here in the US.
very cool. So you have a great team. You have a
Mhm.
sounds like a pretty good sized team that you have. And
Yes.
do they all report to you about their day to day operations, or how does that work?
Yes. So as part of my job as a business owner and the leader of them, I have to
Mhm.
have them give me 15 minutes of their time, to report what's going on and
Yeah.
what are incoming, that because we as a business strategist, we have to be prepared, because
Right.
a lot of times we don't know what's going on in the market, and so
Mhm.
as a business strategist, we can prepare all our clients in our portfolio, okay, what's going on in the next few days and the next few weeks, and we can
Right.
tackle that immediately. Yeah.
That's very cool, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, thank you for clarifying that because that's one of
Mm-hmm.
the things that they also ask of like my
Mm-hmm.
role as a business advisor. Is like, are you the same as what a business consultant is? And uh, for the most part, there are some kind of similarities about our responsibilities, but more
Mm-hmm.
so for us, it's Brandon Dawson's system and methodology that we
Yes.
use to help scale other businesses, right? And
Yes.
ideally small to medium size. As anything past like $10 million and up, that definitely
That's
gets.
what you call scalable agile frameworks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
which is awesome because actually I was gonna ask you about that, but since we're on that, could you dive in a little bit more about that framework? The scale. They call it agile or agile framework.
Yeah, we call it safe. It's the concept of agile framework in business is the facilitating of how we facilitate the scalability. So agile framework emphasize on iterative development, with the rapid feedbacks on the loops of what are the
Mhm.
business market, with sort of like the Netflix, what happened with Netflix, all those structures where the downfall and the rise fall, and
Ah,
so those are the things that we look at the trends, and then once we know, within the we have a period, 3 weeks period, and we know exactly where this industry is gonna go.
mm,
So a lot of times people
wow,
don't know how it works, but
yeah,
us, because having the agile frameworks, embedded in your business, you can prepare
that's
your
good.
business. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
that's the difference
predicting,
on that.
I see. There's a lot of predictions based
Mm-hmm.
on analytics and data,
Yes.
historical data, and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That that's amazing. That's awesome.
Yes.
And what got you into this specific industry?
Yeah, so I used to be a apprentice with the Forex, Department of Trade.
Right. Right.
And so I saw a lot of strategies where the market, cross country, how it is happening, in between the trades,
Hmm.
within each industry. And so I develop a programs where I can intercorrelate those
Yeah.
trends into each industries in the business, but we uses different softwares, to predict what's going on within the government sectors and to the international sectors from the government itself.
I see. I see. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's very awesome. I wouldn't have just meeting you for the first time at Growthcon. I wouldn't have thought you were in this particular space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've been with Grant Cardone for like 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that, Cherise. What? So you've been with inside the 10x ecosystem for a lot longer than I have been, to
Mm-hmm.
be honest with you. And I obviously bought in immediately after I realized that what they do, and what they're building is
Yes.
something that I want to be a part of. But um, I want to ask you, in your own perspective, right? You've been doing this particular business for 18 years, 20 plus years as an entrepreneur. Obviously you have a lot of experience, have been through a bunch of different like ups and downs within
Mm-hmm.
the business itself. But for you, with having a lot of experience and still gravitate towards what Grant does 5 years ago, like what was the like aha moment for you when when you found Grant, and how did you find them, and what made
Mhm.
you continue to stay within the ecosystem?
Yeah, so I found Grant Cardone like 5 years ago, on YouTube. I was searching, hey, how can I implement this, because I'm
Mhm.
a shy person. I'm a very introvert person. And what I find, I was gravitated with Grant Cardone because, the way he uses the communities,
Right.
he combined and he connived all the communities in one place,
Hmm.
and which is actually most entrepreneurs need is the community itself, because
Right.
you cannot grow alone. Every
Right.
business, every entrepreneur should, surround themselves with people like Grant Cardone, Brandon Dawson, yourself alone,
Mhm. Thank
not because, oh, I've been in this, community, but to gain knowledge, to gain expertise from other industry, to meet other people, to
you.
surround yourself with, powerful people like Grant and you actually navigate the powerful effect into yourself.
Absolutely. And
Mm-hmm,
um, I realized that only about 2 years ago.
mm-hmm,
When I started my business in 2021, and I hired a business coach from the get go because
mm-hmm,
I knew the power of somebody who could eliminate like the trial and errors for me. And I
mm-hmm.
didn't want to just wait and learn on my own because I want to see success immediately. So I
Yes,
invested in a business coach, and now being around 10x, just being around other very successful business owners and entrepreneurs helps open up my mind and build those relationship with them, where
exactly.
I can come up to you, for example, in the future and have a quick question that you'd be able to provide, and vice versa,
Mm-hmm,
right? So um,
exactly.
the power of networking is amazing. And obviously, you attended GrowthCon. It's not cheap, including your flights, your hotels, and obviously the specific ticket. For the premier ticket that we were a part of, they were selling it for $8,000. But for you, like, what is it about attending not just the networking piece, but
Mm-hmm.
investing in yourself for your personal and professional growth?
Yeah, so it's as an entrepreneur, it's very important for us to be, you know, to invest in ourselves, not just for the community itself, not
Yeah.
just for the networking, but the power of what those speaker can bring to you,
Yeah.
because I heard this a lot of questions that, okay, you are spending money on this, what are you gaining? What I am gaining is what I have not gained in the past.
Hmm.
What I am gaining is I am learning something that I never knew
Yeah.
till I can get till I was there,
Right.
and so that's very powerful because you take home those knowledge that those people in the stage that you never even know,
Right.
so, and it enhances your ability, your capacity. Okay, I can be in that stage one day, you
Right.
know just like me, I tell you the truth, I am a very introvert person. I work on my own, even in my office. I don't like my people, my staff going, knocking on my door. But
Hmm.
I'm learning the process. When I spoke to Brandon Dawson, he said one day, I asked him, what do you recommend, or what advice would you give to an introvert person? Go out, go to the public. That's what he
Yeah.
told me,
Yeah.
because otherwise you're gonna be, yes, you are successful right now, but are you, how can you predict that to be in the future? It's
Right.
not gonna be all the time that you are gonna be successful. You have to change. You
Yeah.
have to be adaptable.
Right.
Exactly.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's
Mhm.
a great advice. And for me, I would say I'm a mixture of. There's times when I'm an introvert, whereas I just need some time alone. But a lot of the times I'm very extroverted, and
Mhm.
I have no problem saying hi to anybody.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
it's really funny because I brought my business partner, Dr. Natasha Henry, on the GrotCon.
oh,
So, yes, and we met at the GrotCon in Las Vegas.
the prior year.
Mhm.
Yeah, I see.
And
Yeah.
so you see the power of that networking,
Hmm.
so I met her in the Las Vegas prior year of the
Yeah.
10x Growth conference, and we gravitated immediately. And hey, I wanted to start a skincare business.
Yeah.
That's what she said. I want to be a dermatologist.
Mm.
And so I said, well, we can collaborate. It was like,
Yeah.
so we built the business within after a month of the GrowthCon
Meeting.
in Las Vegas, and
Yeah.
until today, we're a
Nice.
business partner.
Awesome. And that's a different business on its own.
Yes.
The skincare business, right?
Hmm.
And all that stuff. So I noticed in your portfolio, Cherise, that you have a PhD. Is that right?
Yes.
What is your PhD at? Like in?
Pharmacology.
I see. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yes.
Awesome. And that's one of
So
the reasons.
yeah, when I so a little bit history on that. So I have civil engineering background in the
Oh wow.
Philippines,
Yeah.
and I have when I went to Singapore, I have I went to study economics. So I have
Hmm.
a bachelor degree in economics in
Amazing.
Singapore. When
Yeah.
I got here, I had to redo everything because it doesn't translate.
Right.
And
Right.
so instead of going back to the same major,
Right.
I went to to the medicine. you
Gotcha.
know so that's
Gotcha.
what the PhD is.
I see. No, that's amazing. That's
Hmm.
amazing. To getting that higher education. I personally have slightly thought about going back to school. I got my master's. Well, my undergrad's in business management, and my master's is in organizational development and leadership,
Hmm.
which really evolves with what I'm doing, in
Hmm.
my business. But I'm like, oh, should I go back to school, get a doctorate? But maybe later on, just you know, uh, for just to prove something to myself, maybe, and to also maybe be able to help others out with that knowledge that I am able to get. But that's
Exactly.
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I always advise this to most of my startup businesses and entrepreneurs, is when you have a little bit of time, is go back to school. I hear a lot of this, people don't, in the school, they don't teach you this, that. Actually, in reverse, when I went in Singapore, I have an economics degree, but
Yeah,
they actually don't teach you how to do the business. You
yeah,
gotta
right.
have to learn that on your
On
own.
your own, yeah. And
Yes.
or or basically you'd have to go to business school or get an
Yes, exactly.
MBA, all of that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. But yeah, no,
And,
I definitely agree with that.
mhm.
You get your general, I guess I would say general education with your undergrad, and if you want more specialized, you
Yes,
get up to the next level, right? And that's one of
exactly.
the reasons why people get a higher education. Not only it makes you more marketable, and strengthen
It
your
creates you
resume.
also a trust.
Exactly,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. And well, I mean that's pretty cool. I want to go back to um, the like the agile framework, right? You kind of talked about already the safe agile framework, so I kind of want to stick around that area. Um, so for example, the other question that I want to ask is, in what ways can agile methodologies complement traditional business strategies, especially in a fast-paced industry?
Yeah, so agile methodologies offers dynamic approach to execution, strategic
Hmm.
execution. So in we as a business as strategies allowing businesses to experiment,
Mm,
outside of their products or services. We iterate those, we adapt quickly to changes in the market demands. So by integrating the agility practice into the traditional strategic frameworks, businesses can enhance responsiveness,
I see.
and we they can foster innovation, maintaining competitiveness in the market. But what most importantly is the iteration of experimentation outside of your, just like what I did in my business. I
Mhm.
have 8 different businesses that are not intercorrelated.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
that's what agile methodologies is. You started with one products or services, you expand it into that section, and then you expand it into a different section. So
Yeah.
it's not gonna be, because we believe as a business strategist, one products and one services cannot sustain the
Hmm.
whole business. You
Yeah.
have to have an umbrella in it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a great answer, and kind of following up with your statement that you have 8 businesses. I am I have 2 businesses. The third one is a network marketing brand partnership. I
Mm-hmm.
don't necessarily call it as a business. I call it more of a I'm a client and a brand
Mm-hmm.
ambassador at the same time, meaning that if somebody says, "Oh no, I want to get into network marketing, or I want to, try some of those products that you guys have," then I'll refer them
Mm-hmm.
to my upline, which is my friend. But I don't really spend a lot of time in those. But so my other 2 businesses, I spent a lot, which is my recruiting agency and as a business coach and advisor. Is
Mm-hmm.
what my days are split, and obviously the family things and personal life.
Yes.
But for you, how do you balance 8 different businesses all together, and they're not even like interconnected, right?
Interconnected. Yeah, so we have, a technical systems for each of those.
Hmm.
But what most importantly is, yeah, I get a lot of that questions, and thank you for asking that. But
Yeah.
I thank all my team, because I duplicated myself to each of those businesses. So
Wow.
important part of growing your business is you have to delegate those things,
Right.
and you have to have someone can duplicate you, you
Yeah.
know just like what Brandon is saying. you know you have to make somebody do what you can do, so you don't have to do it for your business. So
Yeah.
but there's the but in that side, because not a lot of your staff will actually do the can do the rapid decision making. They
Hmm.
have to go back to you, and okay. But for me, with all those businesses that I have, the most fun of it, the fun that I get to it is
Yeah.
I get to train those people. Okay,
Yeah.
you can do those things without prior telling me.
I love that. I love
Mhm.
that, and I definitely believe in mentorship and having the right people to be able to help you scale your business. Right? We talk about it.
Yes,
Uh, Brandon talks about it all the time as well. Finding the right key players that you can
exactly.
trust, and to where even if let's say you take a 1 week vacation somewhere, your business is still running because you have those right people that's
Yes.
operating. And without you being a micromanager or whatnot, right? So,
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so that's the most important thing, is because you don't want to do the business because you have to.
right,
You want to do the business because the people needs your business.
right,
But it doesn't have to be like you gotta have to be there every day. Yes,
yeah,
you gotta have to be there every day, but not physically be there every
got
day.
it, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. No, that's amazing. And my next question that I want to ask you, Cherise, is, um, let's see, what's a better one? Um, all right. So, what strategies can individuals use to overcome setbacks, failures, or obstacles on their path to high achievement?
So, I am trained the high achiever and confidence performance coach.
Nice.
Um, we exhibit the traits of resilience, self-discipline, passion, and a growth mindset. Because if you're not, yeah, if you are in a category of high achiever, you have to be a growth mindset. So cultivating these, qualities requires self-awareness, of course,
Yeah.
goal settings, continuous learning, and a willingness to step out of your comfort zone. So being a high achiever means you gotta step ahead of the game, not
Right.
just counting the game.
Yeah.
But you have to go jump through those games.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. Very good. Very good. And then the next one I want to follow up with that is how important is continuous learning and skill development and sustaining high levels of performance. And what are some of the effective ways individuals can pursue lifelong learning?
You know, I have a lot of questions about that.
Mhm.
Um, we as an entrepreneur are lifelong learners.
We have to,
And
yeah.
this is an essential for personal professional growth. Each individuals in this market, can pursue continuous learning through formal education, online courses, workshop, mentorship, but the main goal is for you to self learn,
Got
what
it.
other people, what other businesses are doing. Self directed study is actually, I like better because,
Hmm.
you got to answer the loops that other people cannot answer,
Yeah,
and even though, let's say, a formal education, they only teach you a certain way of the way they do the business. But in your case, if you are a self learner, lifelong learner, is you gotta create your own strategy. Okay, this is not what's going on in here, but this is what I can do. You fill in the gap along with those strategies that they teach you.
very nice, very nice.
Hmm.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that. I want
Yeah.
to follow up, going back to the B2B, because you're a B2B business, right?
Yes.
You have other businesses and everything else. The way you attract new clients or whatever, like what most of prospecting do you guys do? Excuse me.
So prospecting for us, I grew my business, my first business, by referral base. Um,
Wow.
Yes, the first business I grew that in our referral base. Prospecting wise is we go to corporation by corporation because we are actually a what do you call this one, import and export. So we also target those import and export clients.
I
So we
see.
have it in under umbrella. Okay, so you are in this business. We can expand this business. So
Gotcha.
we target the same customer to expand those businesses.
I see. And
Mhm.
are you using like some other softwares or tools to find these ideal clients of yours, or do you just
We
go on
have our own,
LinkedIn?
we develop our own software that
Oh,
is, it's actually the software that we created is connected with the trending market, with the forex stock exchange, and then with the government sector. We get a lot of the feedback from the government sectors internationally because a lot of times I get the questions, hey, I wanted to expand in this country, but can you expand? That's the question I get. I will give them, can you expand to that country? So the reason for that is not everybody is for every country,
I
not
see.
every business is every for each countries, so we look at the national or general broader market in the whole world, and then we look at those businesses that want to expand, and then we categorize them. Okay, this is where you need to go because this is what they need.
I see. Understood.
Hmm.
Okay. Very, very good. Um, Outside of what I have written down, I kind of wanted to ask you. I mean, you have plethora of experience in different industries and what your current business is right now. Um, do you still have a mentor that you talk to or that you look upon for advice, whether it's a direct or indirect? And if so, who they are and why you chose them?
Yeah, so I still have my first mentor. That was 21 years ago,
Hmm. Wow.
and I still go with her. She is basically, I cannot say I can only say her name, but
Mhm.
I have an NDA for her, so I
You're right.
respect those NDA. But Christina is a lifelong learner. She comes from a large corporation, very well known large corporation in the
Yeah.
world, and so I went with her because when I was starting, she didn't just give me the answer of what I'm doing. She
Mm.
actually showed me how to do it.
Yeah.
And so the most important part when you are looking for mentors is not just telling you what to do or what you need to do,
Right.
is showing you the proper way
Right.
to do it, because you look for them, for a mentor, to suffice that you don't have to stumble upon.
Yeah.
So when you look for mentors and then they just, I have a few mentors that was the goal is, okay, you do this, you do that, and follow up with me.
Hmm.
And I felt like I was alone on those journeys.
So
And
yeah,
so yeah, so I Christina is one of my favorite one, because when you ask her a question, she will direct you immediately. Okay, this is what you need to do, and this is how you do it.
that's how you do it exactly.
Yes.
And I love that, and that's exactly my process as well. I just don't tell my the people I coach and I mentor, hey,
Hmm.
this is what you got to do. I actually really will show it to them the
Yes,
process, because it helps them so much more to retain, the training and the
exactly.
advice. And a lot of times, because when I've had a mentor or a coach before where he just says, oh, you got to go on LinkedIn to find your leads. All right, this is
Yeah.
whatever. And I'm like, okay, but how, right? So
Yes.
I believe it's important to not only tell you the what, the why, but also the
Hmm.
how to do it. So
Yes.
it's
Yeah, that
kind of
is why I am very lucky to have her on my side despite 21 years after I started my business. And I said, when I started, this business, the business strategies, that's how
mhm.
I do it on my clients. Is we don't just tell you, okay, this is what you need to do, this is where you're gonna go. We actually do it with them, but we don't do it ourselves, we do it with them.
Wow, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love that, Charisse.
Yeah.
And so tell me on a personal level, like for you, like what do you do outside of work? Um, is it more? Do you have any hobbies that you like to do when you're not working?
Well, currently, right now, I am finishing my Juris Doctorate program.
Wow, gotcha. So
So,
that's keeping you
because
busy.
right now I've been dealing with international clients, so I decided, okay, to protect the company and the people that I am working with, I have to
Mhm.
be I have to be a corporate law, just to have the knowledge
Yeah,
that people, a lot of times, when you go to certain countries, they won't tell you exactly what you need to do and
right.
what are the laws. And so that's why I came in. I said, you know what, I'm gonna go and finish my Juris Doctorate. And so I said, so when I go to these each countries, I already know what the laws they are gonna impose to us.
Gotcha. So you're
Hmm.
doing it again just to be ready and prepared, which I love that.
Yes.
I love
Hmm.
that.
Yeah,
Everything
so
that I
aside
do.
from that,
Yeah,
my favorite hobby is I'm a scuba diver, and
nice.
I am a Red Cross volunteer to scuba dive all international.
That's
um,
so cool.
I am an avid fan of hiking. That's basically what I do aside from my regular routine, business routine, and aside from my classes.
Nice, nice. Wow. Well, you definitely have your hands full. It looks like you don't have a lot of free time outside of like focusing in business and work. Grant wrote a book called "Be Obsessed" or "Be
Be
Average,"
obsessed, be
and
average. Yeah.
right, and it's a day. It's even though you have a time off, you don't all. For some people like us with that mindset, we're
Hmm.
always thinking how we can improve tomorrow and everything else,
Exactly.
and I definitely you're living that by based on what you told me, and I'm in the same exact mindset. If I'm already done working, a lot of the times, if I'm just resting at night after dinner or something, I'll read a book, listen to a podcast, or watch some some instruction videos on YouTube. So I'm always trying to continue to get better, but because you said we are learners, we have to be. um,
Yes.
and especially now, right? AI is
Hmm.
booming, and it's not going to go away. And so a lot of the times right now, what I'm doing is I'm trying to learn different AI tools to where
Mhm.
not only I'd be able to use for my business, but to also when I advise my coachee or my mentees, I
Mhm.
can recommend, hey, we have this is AI tool that can help you with your I guess with time management for your work
Exactly.
or automations and so on and so forth. So
Yeah.
it's definitely important
That's the thing with the learning is, you actually just don't consume but produce,
to produce,
you
right?
know. Yeah, because a lot of times I hear this a lot of question, say, hey, we can learn all of this stuff, yes, are you producing? That's my question.
Right, exactly. You could only learn so much, and that's why I don't know how or where I read this quote, but it stuck to me for at least the last 15 years. Um, the quote says, "Knowledge is power, but applying these knowledge is more powerful." So,
Yes, exactly.
so that basically,
I love that. I love that. Yeah.
right. Because knowledge is
Mhm.
useless if you don't implement it or
Yeah.
apply it or teach somebody with it, So,
Exactly. I have a lot of clients that are currently because I have my new program is actually, specifically target college student,
gotcha.
so to teach them how to become self-sufficient after they graduate, so
Hmm.
I'm launching that in the next 2 months. And
That's
so
so cool.
I'm actually beta testing it with a client of mine. She
Hmm.
has a what do you call this one, kindergarten school
Hmm.
across the country. And so, I love the way that we did it because we train each employee in this company how to become, self-sufficient,
Yeah.
without having to work or, having to do all the tasks.
Yeah, understood. Awesome, awesome.
Hmm.
Well, Cerise, you've given us a lot of great golden nuggets, and thank you for allowing us to learn more about you and your business and your journey. One last question before we go. What would be your advice to our viewers, listeners, um, if they're, been thinking about being an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so being an entrepreneur is, as I always say this, we are all born entrepreneurs, you
Hmm.
know. And with that being said is, when you feel like you're overwhelmed, find a mentor, find somebody who can guide you, do the work with you. And just because, it's not because you know the product or you know the service, but how to implement it is what's most scary to most entrepreneurs, most specifically to those startups. You know,
Yeah.
I have one podcast last week, and one of the subscriber sent me an email and asked me this a specific question: how do you know when it's time to accept failure? And
Hmm.
when you failed in business once or twice in the past, how do you know it's time for you to stop?
Wow.
As an entrepreneur, I said, you don't have the power to stop. You don't have the chance or the right to stop,
Hmm.
because when you accept failures, you're telling yourself you're not good enough. You're telling yourself you're never gonna be enough. So instead, revisit those failures, innovate, reconstruct those failures. Use
Right.
those failures as a stepping stone to improve from those failures. So when I say that to my clients, and this is the general advice to most entrepreneurs, when you have an idea, construct that idea properly, because in the entrepreneur in a business world, as a scalable business framework, that I do for the last 20 years, most business owners just focus on their products, how good their products is. But you know what? Guess what? The market doesn't correspond with your own product if your company is not structured. So
Right.
number one is structure your company properly, that it cannot be demolished by the market trend.
Gotcha. Love it.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Cherrise. I appreciate your time and joining us here into the podcast. Most people would probably want to, get in touch with you after this. So, that being said, where can our viewers and listeners find you?
Yeah, so basically, I don't have a podcast on my own, but I have my Instagram. It's at Cherrise Curtis official, and I have my Facebook account is Cherrise Curtis. But
Gotcha.
importantly, they can find me on my website, www.projectevolutions.com. So Project
Awesome.
Evolution, because every project has to evolve.
Right. There you go.
So
I
that's
love
my
that.
business name. It's the
That's
Project
really cool.
Evolution.
Well, guys and gals, you heard it here. If you need to get a hold of Cherrise Curtis, you can find her on Instagram. You can find her on Facebook, and obviously her website, which is pro. Did you say
The projectevolutions.com.
com? Awesome.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Well, Therese, thank you so much. I appreciate you being on the show, and I'll definitely continue to follow up and watch you continue to grow and thrive. And for our viewers and listeners, make sure you give her a follow. And if you have any other business questions about what she can do to help your business grow, please reach out to her. And we'll
Yes.
see you.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Go
See you.
ahead.
See you. Yeah. Yeah. So basically, if anybody has a questions, hey, hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, I'd be glad to go in depth where your business is current, and then we can go from there. I'd love to help each of these entrepreneurs, most especially those startup businesses, because
Nice.
those are the one who needs help.
Right. Absolutely. The ones that need
Hmm.
the most help. It's a
Yes.
crucial time. The startup time
Yes.
is very, very crucial. And well, there you go, guys. Find her and make sure you hit her up. And we'll see you guys at the next episode. Take care and have a great day.
Thank you so much, Jay.